All right, we are going to dive into some review. All of the commandments are based on love. Remember that, super important. And who remembers which commandment means we should fear, love, and trust God above all things? Thomas. First commandment, fear, love, and trust God above all things. You are correct. Have no other gods before him. The second commandment is, which one of these things? You shall not make wrongful use of the name of the Lord your God. You shall have no other gods before me, or remember the Sabbath day by keeping it holy. Which is the second? Yes, my dear. It is A, second commandment. You shall not make wrongful use of the name of the Lord your God. You're protecting God's name, using it wisely. So, using God's name as a meaningless swear word is like telling the world God means nothing to you, showing the world you have a limited vocabulary, or both A and B. Carmela.
A and B.
You are correct. How about that? Oh, and there was no big deal to God. That was not the answer. Yes, the answer is A and B. Well done. According to Martin Luther, proper use of God's name includes, which of these? Prayer, praise, thanksgiving, all of the above, and then some. Yes?
All of the above and then some.
You are correct. Third commandment is, which one?
C.
C, you are correct. Remember the Sabbath day by keeping it holy. And we keep the third commandment when we rest from the work we've done, worship God with other Christians, squeeze in all the stuff we didn't get done earlier in the week, take time to hear what God has to teach us through his word, and preaching, or E, a certain combination of those. It is E, all except C, not the squeezing in all the other stuff we didn't get done. All right, another quick review. You got to talk about joys and how that can guide your prayer life and reading scripture. Jesus, others, yourself, and scripture. And commandments 1 through 3 are about our relationship with God. You got it. And commandments 4 through 10 are about our relationships with other people, and that is where we are going to start today. We can't keep these commandments perfectly, but we know the one who did, and we are so thankful that Jesus did that on our behalf. So our fourth commandment, we find it in Deuteronomy chapter 5, verse 16, and you are going to have a fill in the blank very soon. Here's the commandment. Honor your father and mother as the Lord your God commanded you, that your days may be long and that it may go well with you in the land that the Lord your God is giving you. This is our fourth commandment. And what does this mean? It is on page 81 in your catechism and on the screen so you can fill in the blanks. We should fear and love God so that we do not despise or anger our parents and other authorities, but honor them, serve and obey them, love and cherish them. We should fear and love God so that we do not despise or anger our parents and other authorities, but honor them, serve and obey them, love and cherish them. We should fear and love God so that we do not despise or anger our parents and other authorities, but honor them, serve and obey them, love and cherish them. And so God starts the commandments about our relationships with other people with your very first relationship, and the one that takes up a lot of your time, right? In your formative years, you spend a lot of time with parents. So I would like you to take about 1 minute to talk with everyone at your table. What are some words that mean honor? Words and ideas that mean honor, and you can jot them down on your note sheet. What are some words or ideas that mean honor? Ready, go. What are some ideas that have come up for you at your table? Let's get one idea from each table. Let's start over here with Summer and Adele's group. What is one word that came up? Aiden. Respect is one word that came up. Thomas?
Praise.
Praise is one word that came up there. Sydney?
Promise.
Say it again.
Promise.
Promise. Excellent. Probably as in keeping a promise, right? Nice. How about here? Ellie, Annika, do you have one?
Love.
Love. Excellent. How about Sarah?
Loyal or loyalty.
Loyal or loyalty? Yes, back here?
Devote.
Devote. Excellent. And how about up here? What's a word that came up in your discussion? Revere. Excellent. So this is an online dictionary definition, and you can fill in some blanks there. So honor is to regard or treat someone with respect and admiration. With respect and admiration, to show or give honor to someone. And the second definition is to show admiration for someone or something in a public way, to give a public honor to someone or something. And then the last definition is to do what is required by something, such as a promise or a contract. So if you honor your promise, that means you're keeping it, right? You're doing what is required by it. All right, so now that you have those definitions rolling around in your brains, I would like you to take another minute at your tables to brainstorm at least 5 ways that you could honor your parents, or that you do honor your parents. What are at least 5 ways that you could or do honor your parents? You're welcome to come up with more. Ready? Go. Take another 30 seconds. All right, I'd like to hear an idea from each group again. Let's start with Winston or Matthew. Do you have an idea from how do you honor your parents, or how could you? By respecting them. Awesome. How about up here? What's an idea that you had for how could you or do you honor your parents?
Cherish them.
Cherish them. Excellent. How about here?
Doing things without being asked.
Ooh, doing things without being asked, or maybe like without being asked the 4th or 5th or 7th time. Okay, not that I'm a parent. Sorry. How about back here? Respect them. Excellent. Up here?
Don't push back.
Don't push back. So maybe no sass. Would that be another way of saying that? How about up here?
Help them.
Help them. Be helpful. And how about back here?
Patient.
Being patient with them. Excellent. All right. Now, same thing except opposite. What are 5 ways or more that you have dishonored your parents? Ready and go. here's some ideas. Let's start with Violet's table. What did you come up with for things you may have done to dishonor your parents? That she's heard from other people, right? Not on her own. What do you got? Shh. Say it again. Disrespecting them. And sometimes we even do that, like not with words, but with our eye rolls and things like that. Not that I've ever done that, but how about up here?
Lying.
Lying. That would be a way of dishonoring your parents. How about Jenny, Addie, Sarah? What do you have? Laziness. I'm going to come over here, up front. Sophie, Dylan, who's got one? Sass back. Yeah, maybe we've done that sometimes. How about back here?
Disrespectful.
Being disrespectful. Yes, in the back. So far, I'm thinking maybe this list was easier to come up with than the first one. Okay. How about up here? Ignoring them. I mean, what? Oh, no, I heard you. I heard you. Interesting. So, how many of you have heard the phrase, the letter of the law? Heard that before? So sometimes as Jesus was teaching, he would correct people who got kind of caught up in following the letter of the law. So sometimes with this commandment, I think we can do the same thing. When we talk about honoring our parents, we might say, well, who are my parents? So for example, I could say, well, my husband Terry's parents aren't my parents, so I don't have to honor them. Is that what you think God was getting at with this commandment? No. How about, like we all have different situations, right, in our families? Maybe you have one parent, maybe you have 4 parents. Maybe you have adoptive parents, grandparents, guardians, and other people in positions of authority, we said in the explanation to the commandment. So people like teachers and bosses are all people who are in positions. God put them there, and we are called to honor them. Now, I remember very clearly, I was about your age, I was super involved in 4-H, and I really wanted to go to a weekend leadership retreat. And I lived on a farm, and my dad relied on me for help with chores every day. And when I asked if I could go to this, he said no, and I was so mad because I could not come up with a good reason that I shouldn't be able to go to this super fun thing that, leadership development and all that kind of stuff. So do your parents have a phrase that they say all the time? Like things you can, like I heard a lot of, money doesn't grow on trees. I heard a lot of that growing up. The other thing I heard a lot of is, life's tough all over, kid. Life's tough all over, kid. So when I was putting up a fuss about not getting to go to this, my dad said, life's tough all over, kid. And I said, but especially here. And I walked out of the room. Was that honoring my father? Not so much, right? And we don't always understand as kids what our parents are doing. Someday, if you are blessed to be a parent, you will understand more of why they do the things that they do. And I have something that might be a little surprising to tell you. Not a single one of us has even one perfect parent, because all of our parents are sinful people just like you and I are. So sometimes honoring your parent might mean encouraging them to get help if they are not well, if they are struggling with an addiction. That's what honoring your parent might look like in that situation. Sometimes honoring your parent will mean forgiving them for something that they have done that hurt you. And honoring your parents can also look like telling the truth if there's someone in your life who is not keeping you safe, someone who is hurting you. So there are a lot of different ways that we can honor our parents, and you'll have a chance to talk about that in your small groups, especially when your parents are not following the commandments themselves. How do you do that? How do you honor your parents in those situations? Now, another letter of the law question: does this command cease to apply to you once you turn 18? No, it does not. So I not only have had parents, I am a parent. And this picture is one of my kids. So I have 3 daughters, pretty much all full-size humans at this point. But the youngest one, Clara, in this picture was a baby, brand new, just a couple of weeks old. And the person holding her is my dad, who was 85 at the time that she was born. And he actually died 3 days after she was baptized. And as he was nearing the end of his life and going through a lot of struggles with dementia, I thought a lot about what does it look like to honor my parents when I am also being a parent myself. So this is a commandment that you might think it really only applies to 13-year-olds and I should stop rolling my eyes at my parents. But it is going to be something that applies to you throughout your life. You're going to have many opportunities to honor your parents in different ways. Now, I don't know that I have ever shown a video in here that has subtitles. I'm not sure what this language is. It sounds like some kind of Russian to me. Maybe you understand that. I don't. There are subtitles, so you will need to watch, but I think you will get the message of this video. We're going to spend a few minutes next looking at Jesus' example and how he honored his parents. And then we are going to be closing with something called Project 10, where I'll give you a warning when it's 22 after or so. And you will be challenged to write down 10 things that you appreciate about your parents. And then your mission is going to be to sneakily give that to them, hide it somewhere they will find it. And you've got 2 pieces of paper that have that info on. If you need more, you should have blank paper in your binder if you want to write to multiple parents or people in that role in your life. All right, small group time, and I will let you know when to shift to Project 10. Transition now to taking a couple of minutes to write at least 10 things you are grateful about for at least one of your parents. And save the last minute to close in prayer as a group. And I would like each of you to share at least 2 of those things in prayer time as something you're giving thanks for. That makes sense. So do your brainstorming, write down at least 10 things you're thankful about your parents, and then close in prayer in your small groups.